What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about the best places to visit in Vancouver. Vancouver, funny enough, is one of the few Canadian cities I am aware of, like by name at least. Growing up in America, there's only a few cities like that I knew in Canada. I don't know how that happens. Like, I feel like it's entirely based on how much Degrassi I watched growing up randomly. But so I pulled it up here on a map. And, I've gotten much better, I'm proud to say. I have a mental picture in my mind when I think of where Ottawa is, Toronto, Montreal, all over on the east side of Canada. And then it's like Vancouver here on the west wanted to form their own Vancouver fan club or something because they all packed their stuff up because Vancouver's not even close to the other major Canadian cities I know of. So it's over here. We're going to zoom in, give myself a little mental scan of this. So when I think of Vancouver, I have something to think about. Oh, it's by an island as well. I know there's a Vancouver Island. Now I'm looking at the United States. Maybe that's Vancouver Island? Washington? A lot of people from Washington must be able to travel into Vancouver. It blows my mind as an American who never lived in a state that's bordering Canada. Like, how different the experience must be for Americans that live in a bordering state to Canada. Like, to them, they must think I'm crazy as well. They're like, yeah, Vancouver, it's right there. Like, people in Washington would think I'm just talking nonsense here, but, I'm remedying this all today, and I have a little video here, which is a travel guide of the best places to visit in Vancouver, and honestly, this video has a lot of views, so I feel like a lot of people who visit and travel to Canada and Vancouver probably use this video as some kind of guide to at least give them good ideas of where to go. So it's probably influenced a lot of Americans, and it's about to influence one more American right here. So let's take a look.
Vancouver is British Columbia's biggest city. It's the gateway to the glaciers of Alaska, the wilderness of Western Canada.
Whoa, I didn't know Vancouver had all these titles. The gateway to the glaciers, and biggest city in British Columbia, but not the capital? I feel like I gotta know that. I can't let that slide. Let's see here. Vancouver. It's ethnically diverse, one of Canada's densest, but it's not the capital. What's the capital of British Columbia? Capital of British Columbia. If it's not Victoria, excuse me, Victoria. I apologize. Okay, good to know.
And the slopes of Whistler. And it's also one of the world's most desirable places to live.
Most desirable places to live. Very cool. And it's on the water. Okay, I'm pausing a little too much now. I gotta let some more beauty happen. Oh man. Oh, and beauty does happen. Oh my goodness, what the heck is this thing? Also, how is there so many different, climates or geographies here? You had, the beach, which, by the way, the fact that Vancouver is by water, I always say it's a cheat code. It's not fair, because a lot of amazing Canadian cities I've seen in the past are by water, and it's instantly makes the city 100 times more beautiful. It's not fair, and I'm not jealous at all.
Wherever you roam in Vancouver, the salty sea breeze carries the fresh scents of the forest and the promise of adventure.
You got forests, beach, water.
Its welcoming neighborhoods are filled with the aromas of incredible cuisines, roasting coffee beans, brewers' hops, and all the urban delights you'd expect from a city which is regularly voted the world's most livable.
Wait. Is that true? Is Vancouver... obviously these videos are going to say, no matter what the city is, they're going to say, this is a very popular city. Lots of people want to live here. But Vancouver actually, has been voted most livable or most desirable or something like that. That's pretty astounding, especially by Canadian standards.
The secret to Vancouver's success is that it has always been developed with livability in mind.
Wow.
Ever since European...
Oh yeah, you got the bike paths going on? Sorry, I just had to point it out since it's happening before my eyes. The combination of, like, old architecture and then modern. Like, there's a lot of modern buildings and older buildings kind of combined into a really fascinating look.
settlement only 150 years ago, the people of Vancouver have protected the rivers, coastline, and forest,
Wow.
maintaining the perfect balance between nature and the built environment.
How, like, what on earth? Like, how is there gonna be a beautiful, gorgeous beach? Beautiful, like, literal, perfect, like, hiking paths through the forests, like, all in one place. How's that gonna be?
And there's no finer example than the city's pride and joy, Stanley Park, which dates all the way back to 1886.
Goodness gracious. I mean, I'm having trouble getting through the video because, like, every frame is, like, beautiful. This bridge, man, and especially that beach shot. Apparently, there's cabins on the lake. I can see why it's a very, very, very popular place to live. It's beautiful. You can probably get, man, living there or even near there seems like it'd be a great experience. Look at that.
Because Stanley Park spans more than 1,000 acres, you can return over and over again and always discover something new.
Stanley Park. You can go canoeing. It has a little beach. These statues, totems.
Simply cycle or walk. To get to the park, simply cycle or walk along the century-old seawall from the nearby downtown area.
Wow.
The wall not only keeps the sea at bay, but ensures Vancouver's waterfront is accessible to everyone.
Wow. I mean, it's like I said, it's cheating. The waterfront, the incorporation of water into the views, and the fact that you can go to parks in Vancouver and be by the water, it's awesome, honestly.
Water has always played a major role in this port and river city.
Yeah.
Watch ships come and go from Brockton Point, where a lighthouse marks the easternmost tip of Stanley Park.
Okay.
Or from the viewing platform at Prospect Point on the park's northern tip.
Oh, so there is, like, literally a lot of importing and exporting going on in Vancouver. Because when you think about it, I just looked at the map. It's located on the western coast of Canada, where ships can actually get out to the rest of the world or go around the United States if they go south, and this makes a lot of sense. Great view. Ridiculous view.
The coastal First Nations people are seafarers too, having paddled to these misty shores over 17,000 years ago.
Wow.
In the Museum of Anthropology at the University of British Columbia, totems and sculptures depict the rich mythologies of the Haida people and the other indigenous tribes of the Northwest Coast.
This is a ridiculously nice exhibit in a very modern-looking museum. This stuff is incredible. And I like that they're giving some credit and dedicating a little bit of time to the native Canadians. Very cool.
The modern city takes its name from the British navigator George Vancouver, who landed here in 1792.
Wait, Vancouver is named after someone? George Vancouver? Wait a minute.
Name from the British navigator George Vancouver.
British navigator George Vancouver. Who would have known? There are probably a lot of people who know that. Now that I say that out loud, but I didn't know. Good to know.
Who landed here in 1792. The original
Cool.
settlement, however, was called Gastown. In
Oh,
1867, Gassy Jack, a sailor and renowned storyteller, convinced local timber...
I don't mean to laugh, but Gassy Jack? I'm sorry. Gassy Jack. Like, he's an important Canadian figure. I don't mean to chuckle, but his name is Gassy Jack.
cutters to build him a saloon in exchange for all the whiskey they could drink in one sitting.
Huh.
No one knows who got the best end of the deal, but a tavern was quickly erected, and a town was born.
Okay, that's cool. Man,
Gas-
look at that. This is what I mean.
Quickly erected.
This, like, Vancouver, there's skyscrapers, or at least these huge buildings that are super modern. And then a bunch of the other stuff they showed towards the beginning of the video is like old, like historical looking buildings. And there's a lot of statues they have around the city. It's just such an incredible mix of past and present. It's something.
And a town was born. Gassy Jack and his makeshift pub may be long gone, but in the historic neighborhood of Gastown, his spirit lingers on.
Okay.
In the good company, the hearty food, and in the vapors that rise from the city's iconic...
Wow, I mean, look at these even. Oh, are they, is that what they're saying? The vapors that arise from these iconic clocks?
In the good company, the hearty food, and in the vapors that rise from the city's iconic steam clock.
Steam clock! Oh, wow. What on earth? That is pretty cool. I mean, I'm a sucker for stuff like this, just like random little cool stuff. Like, I know this steam clock probably has an important historical meaning, but it's also just cool.
Vancouver's early history continues at nearby Waterfront Station, the western terminus of the Canadian Pacific Railway. The railway's construction brought Chinese workers by the thousands, whose descendants have enriched Vancouver ever since.
Wow, a Chinese population in Vancouver. That's awesome. Just kind of speaks to how diverse Canada is as a whole, I think, which is always something that I'm really happy to learn about.
Experience this interweaving of cultures at the Dr. Sun Yat-sen Park and Classical Chinese Garden.
This is not what I think of when I think of Canada, but it is what I think of now as something in Vancouver. I would never in a million years have thought you could get an authentic Chinese historical experience in Vancouver. This is awesome. It's like, it's beautiful.
The first garden of its kind created outside of China.
Wow.
And in Vancouver's Chinatown, where the fusing of Oriental flavors with fresh local seafood has helped earn the city the title, the culinary capital of Canada.
The culinary capital of Canada. Is it a big advantage? I imagine being right on the ocean, right on the sea, because you can catch fresh fish and fresh seafood. I mean, they literally have these crabs, sitting in a pot right there, ready to go. Wow.
Back in downtown, admire yet another of the city's iconic landmarks, the Fairmont Hotel Vancouver.
Okay.
Opening in 1939, this castle in the city became a reflection of the city's growing prestige and confidence.
Okay. I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, are we really about to talk about a hotel? Like, is this an ad for a hotel or something? Fairmont Hotel. This is like almost 100 years old. So it's a historical, very nice hotel. Okay.
Just a short stroll away is Canada Place, where cruise ship travelers from all over the globe arrive to explore the city.
Oh, wow. It's literally a port for cruise ships. Man, I don't know. This just makes me want to go on a cruise now.
Or embark on epic voyages to Alaska.
Oh, voyages to Alaska? Is that a thing? People do? Like they get on a cruise and maybe go up and down the Canada and the United States coast? The West Coast, maybe? Or this going from Vancouver to Alaska, at least?
City, or embark on epic voyages to Alaska.
People want to go to Alaska? Isn't it freezing up there? Man.
If you're visiting Vancouver with younger adventurers, they'll find plenty to discover at Science World.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to get unreasonably excited about Science World. This actually reminds me of somewhere I used to go as a child. And this is just, man, part of me wants to just play around in this myself as an adult. And the other part of me, the grown-up in me, is like, what a fantastic thing for the city to have created for children.
And at the Vancouver Aquarium, little Jacques Cousteaus can meet the cold water creatures of the British Columbia coast, or simply watch in awe as tropical species glide on by.
Nice. Oh my gosh, are those tiny little jellyfish? Man, Vancouver really has everything. Like, or maybe this video is just doing a great job of getting to everything, but this has like 20 or 30 different things to do in Vancouver. I love it.
After visiting Vancouver's central highlights, explore the city's south side. Ride the
Okay.
ferry or aqua bus across False Creek to Granville Island.
Oh, it's like a market, a farmer's market, fresh food, or oh, this is great.
Stock up on provisions and delicious treats at the famous Granville Island Public Market. Then sample a few craft ales at Granville Island Brewing.
Okay. Okay. You don't have to tell me twice.
From Granville Island, head south to Queen Elizabeth Park on Little Mountain, the city's highest peak.
Wait, what is this mountain in the background? Little Mountain? Did I just ask a question? They literally just answered? Little Mountain? Some of these views, these parks in Vancouver are insane. These views, one was a view of more of the sea and the ships coming in and out, and this is like the city and the mountain. I honestly didn't know there was a view of mountains around Vancouver.
Once scarred by quarries, the city transformed these former gravel pits into a stunning network of gardens, creating a peaceful oasis high above the city.
Wow. It's very nice. This, oh my gosh, look at this. Would you just look at this for a moment? Would you just stop what you're doing? Look at those mountains. Look at the city and the water. Vancouver has one of the most beautiful views I've seen in some of the Canadian cities that I've looked at. I had no idea. What a pleasant surprise. Not that I thought it would be the worst torture. Not that I thought that would be torture or an eyesore, but I think I just didn't know that Vancouver, of all places, is this beautiful and has all this interesting geography. Oh, here we go.
After you've breathed in the views, check out the Bloedel Conservatory, a lush greenhouse filled with some of Vancouver's most colorful residents.
Cool. Very cool. Vancouver does a really good job of having like museums and exhibits and parks and these kind of, I don't know, I'll call them natural exhibits. Kind of like there was one centered on the Chinese garden and this one as well, kind of more tropical.
When it's time to answer the call of the wild, cross the Lions Gate Bridge, named after the
Lions Gate Bridge, that's what it's called.
nearby Twin Peaks which loom over the city. The North Shore mountain range is dissected by 3 deep valleys. It's a wilderness where bears roam and salmon-filled rivers flow through old-growth forests.
So is this considered part of Vancouver or just out of Vancouver? Either way, doesn't really matter. You can just cross the bridge and get to, as they said, answer the call of nature, wrestle a bear. I don't like how common is it to actually see a bear like by Vancouver or in Canada? This really has me questioning that yet again.
Cross the 450-foot-long Capilano Suspension Bridge.
I've seen this. I watched one video that was just about this bridge. This is an amazing place to go.
Which has been testing the nerves of visitors for over 125 years.
Yeah.
Then take a treetops adventure high above the rainforest floor.
Right. Man, some of these things can be, seem like a bit touristy. Like you're going to find a lot of people all going to it. It's going to be crowded. I don't care. Like walking on the treetops, on these little suspension bridges, I don't care how busy it is. This is so cool.
For a bird's eye view of Vancouver, head to the top of Grouse Mountain. Or
Wait, what? Can you like take a tram up these cords? Like up to the top of the mountain?
for a bird's eye view of Vancouver, head to the top of Grouse Mountain. Or
Grouse Mountain? I'm hearing a couple of different mountains, like Little Mountain, now Grouse Mountain. I feel like I'm getting them mixed up and whatnot, but at least I know there's mountains by Vancouver. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I know that. Look at this sort of a windmill that you can go up in.
to go even higher, climb into the viewing pod of the Eye of the Wind, the mountain's landmark wind turbine.
Wind turbine.
Vancouver
Wow.
offers extraordinary outdoor experiences and mind-blowing vistas, all
Like this. Like what is this doing in Vancouver? When did this get there? What who put these there? When did these mountains get in Vancouver? What? How did I not know this? There's so much more to the nature side of Vancouver that I didn't know about, as well as the amazing city that has all the older buildings and newer stuff and the food, and Vancouver's great.
all within its city limits. But venture a little further and you'll arrive at a
Okay.
whole other level of awesomeness.
Oh, all of that was actually within Vancouver city limits. That's all technically Vancouver. And there's a couple of special treats here. Maybe just outside of Vancouver, a waterfall.
Less than a 2-hour drive from the city is the world-renowned mountain village of Whistler.
How? I mean, they said Vancouver in the beginning. The narrator was like, the gateway to the glaciers. I didn't know what that meant. It means that Vancouver is very close to, like, very cold climate? How is it only 2-hour drive and suddenly you're in the snow? I didn't know that was even possible.
This adventure playground is simply magic all year round.
Wow.
But when the season's first snows come whirling down, it transforms into a wonderland.
Well, maybe this is a different time of year. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but either way, it's cool that only 2 hours away is this winter wonderland.
Hit the slopes of the Whistler
Oh.
Blackcomb Resort,
Yeah.
the largest ski resort in North America.
The largest ski resort in North America. I'm just starting to think, like, living in Vancouver or living by Vancouver is such a great place to settle down. You are by so much wonderful stuff. You are never going to get bored. I wonder how expensive it is to buy a house near Vancouver or near some of these places. I'm a bit scared now. They said it was a very, very desirable place to live.
The beautifully connected runs here cater to all skill levels and attract elite skiers and beginners from all over the globe.
Yeah. Very cool.
And while you could drive back to Vancouver the same day,
Yeah.
why not put the world on hold for a few nights?
Why
Warm
not?
yourself by a fire and enjoy some of Canada's finest hospitality.
Wow. This is nice. This is really nice. Oh my gosh. What's this? Oh, well, wait, what was that? It's like a bar made out of ice. You take your shots out of an ice glass. Yeah, you're really, really living in Vancouver now. What the heck?
Vancouver is, and always has been, a city connected with nature and adventure.
Right, that's what I'm discovering. Vancouver is a city connected to nature, as well as the city. Like, I never knew that.
It beckons from the breeze, the waters,
Oh
the
my
mountains,
gosh.
her very street corners. So whether your idea of living is testing yourself in the wilds or adventures of a more urban kind, you'll feel
gosh.
perfectly at home and alive.
And this part, where this is like around the city, where you can go to these parks and these walkways by the water.
In Vancouver.
What the heck? Look at this, man. Look at this. Well, that's water in the middle, so is Vancouver separated by like a river or something? Now I'm again confused with the geography of the landscape and exactly how Vancouver is designed. They were talking about like, oh, this is in South Vancouver and West Vancouver, and there's a bit of the details I need to learn, but it doesn't take a genius to see this is amazing. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That was by Expedia, and that was good. I mean, that was good. I think they did a good job of representing a lot of the great things that are available to visit in Vancouver. And let's give Vancouver some credit here. It has the stuff that is there to be shown. So I think Vancouver is just amazing. I mean, I had always heard the name Vancouver, just randomly growing up. Yeah, as an adult, Vancouver. Someone's from Vancouver, or him and her went to Vancouver. And I was always thinking like, man, I wish I knew, like, had an image in my mind of what Vancouver was. I just know it's a Canadian city. I have an image burned into my mind, and it feels good. The burning into my mind. The burning into my mind feels good, because Vancouver is lovely. Fantastic. What a treat. I really enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, and just stuff and places and things about Canada and in Canada that I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.